11:01 on the 7th day. That's Monday, the 7th day of October. We welcome you to another presentation of Voices. Of course, you're locked on to 1FM 98.9 on the FM dial. We say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the various time zones around the world. Welcome to another presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates, host of the day. As we pause to give credit to our sponsors, and then we come back and have a little chit chat with you. So stay tuned, as we say, a local plans not gone away.
In my cup, if you have one, hold it up and say, bust the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that we like, but stand full of vibes, living for the color. I know black and white, we do what we like, we live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor, load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, bust the colors in my life. TDC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services, we are strong. TDC Financial Services, this is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Yabba-dabba-do, what say you? At 4 minutes past 11 o'clock, we are about to get locked and loaded for another presentation of Voices. As we say, good morning once again to all the folks around the world. Special shout-outs to our regular fan base. Well, you know, the folks who make sure to let us know that they're locked on. Brenda O'Neill, friend of the Federation. And I just gave you a message to Jamster to let him know that he forgot you. He said, oh, yeah. Whatever that means. Rosemary Donald up there in New York. Jennifer Richards over there in Atlanta. Mr. Valmonish, of course. Mr. Derek Refrates. Eustace Hendrickson. Chris Collins. Culture. Sister Henry. Dr. Sweeney. Dr. Leader. The whole gang out there. I'm glad to know you're logged on. You're listening. We're going to bring you some carnival news and some issues relating to the tents and the plans in place for that. All this came out of a meeting held on Saturday. But in the meantime, we have with us in the studio Mr. Ras Kalunji. I don't know if you call him Mr. He's here to share with us some perspective. I think he wants to touch on the escalation of the war in the Middle East. Ras Kalunji, welcome once again to the studios of WinFM 98.9. The mic is yours.
Socrates, I just like to. You could call me anything. I don't mind what you call me.
Don't call it collect.
You know what I mean? You could call me anything. But basically, brothers and sisters, I greet you, in the spirit of Pan-Africanism, African unity, African oneness. What Granny say. Love one another. What Granny say. Respect one another. What Granny said. This is local plans, One people, one aim, one destiny. Where Granny says, stop the killing. We have a nation to build. Now, brothers and sisters, we're dealing with the topic today, basically, with the escalation of the war that's taking place in the so-called Middle East, Western Asia. And it's a very serious thing because, seem like we're heading for World War III, as the commentators. That's the way how they see it, I hope not, but it's a very serious situation. And I'd just like to say, from Sandy Point to Bad Village in Nevis, from Butlers to Cairn, and from Bastard to Charlestown, I say, brothers and sisters in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Lyamigo and Uli, it's time for us to unite as one people. As a member of the African Consciousness Movement, we are calling for atonement. In the Christian tradition, we say we have to atone for our sins because we have sinned against each other. So, as we atone, we're calling for a national consciousness and a movement for national unity amongst our people. And we're saying basically, as we outline the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, which is the basis for our unity, Umoja means unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, the community, nation, and race. Umoja means staying together. Now, when we're talking about atonement, we really have to sit down and trash out our differences, because we can't be at war with each other when other people are at war with us. And we are illustrating today what is taking place up in Western Asia and the so-called Middle East, to point out to you that unity is more a real thing now than ever before, because war is waging on every level. We could see that the powers that be, the colonizers and the oppressors, there's a channel in Africa named the African Stream. They shut it off, the YouTube channel. They shut down the YouTube channel. And we see different channels are shutting down all around the world. And I could go back to the COVID, where they say that in Event 201, in time to come, these channels who are considered to spreading misinformation will be shut down. That's why we need our own platforms and channels. We could develop those things for ourselves. So I'm saying to say YouTube, Facebook, all these things, because we don't control them. Once you don't control something, it will be used against you. So we are saying that, these things have to be developed amongst ourselves. And we are using the situation that is taking place up in Western Asia, the Middle East, where the Palestinian people are fighting for their right to self-determination. And then you can't say certain things on certain platforms. If you say Zionism is racism or white supremacy, they shut you down. So I'm saying, brothers, we're living in serious and critical times. It's time for us to get our house in order as African people and oppressed people in general. So, Brother Socrates, any comments?
No, I'm in agreement with you, but you brought a lot of material you want to share with us. I'm going to follow you lead into it.
Yeah, Brother Jamster, you can play the tape. And once you're playing the video, people could call in and interact with us. We just shut down the video and, you know what I'm saying? They could interact with us and ask any questions. Okay. So basically, as Brother Jamster get the video together, it's all about what Brother Ben Norton, he's talking about the whole situation in Western Asia. And he will illustrate to you what is the real deal. Because we are saying here that as we call for atonement and a national consciousness here in the Federation, bringing our people together, we are saying basically, if you don't want to come together to protect our people's interests, what is our people's interest? The right to self-determination, the right to feed ourselves, the right for good housing and health care. That is our interest. And we are saying, if you don't want to come together to protect those things and build them, then basically you're against us. You ready, Brother Jamster? Okay. So basically, Brother Socrates, any input from you?
Okay. Today is October 7th. And it's been observed as a day that Hamas
Exactly.
would have attacked, kidnapped, killed X amount of Israelis. And that is the rationale being used for the escalating warfare against the Palestinians in Gaza, extending out to Lebanon, extending now to launching missiles in Iran. Some are saying they should destroy their oil reserve. And as far as the Biden administration is concerned, Biden is on record and saying at the time he don't believe that Netanyahu is doing anything.
That what?
Netanyahu is not doing anything to stop the war. He wants to escalate. They've had a number of diplomatic overtures discussing how to bring that conflict to an end. But that's not the agenda of Netanyahu. It's plain that he wants, for whatever reason, to gain as much territory as possible, because that has been the agenda of the Israelis for the longest while.
But it's been the agenda of the United States. Because what I'm saying, Israel cannot exist without the United States.
There's no disagreement there.
Okay, so what I'm saying, that's why I want to play the video jams as an introduction, so people could have a proper understanding. Because Biden himself said, if Israel didn't exist, we'll have to create it.
I think a lot of folks have a pretty good understanding.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is that what is really happening in so-called Western Asia is that this is the last settler colonial project. And once this settler colonial project is defeated, white supremacy and racism, because what I'm saying is that these same people, right, were supporting the apartheid regime in South Africa.
We discussed it last time we were here.
You see? So what I'm saying that we have to look at the forces that are aligned against us, because it's the same forces that colonize us, right, are now telling us about the rule of law, human rights, and freedom of speech. You see what I'm saying? All these things is a joke. You know what I'm saying? And our people buy into this narrative. Oh, I could say what I want. I have the right to do this, I have the right to do that. But now we are seeing the same people who told us these things are denying our right for freedom of speech, because they're shutting down platforms that are informing our people and the world in terms of what is happening,
Controlling and shaping the narrative.
Exactly. So that's what they've been doing all the time. And then what is happening is now they put a narrative out there and determine who is our enemy. And our people buy into that when these are the same people who colonize us. You see what I'm saying? Brother Jamster, give us a song.
For years, war hawks in Washington and Tel Aviv have fantasized over the possibility of waging a broad regional war against all of the independent governments in the Middle East, especially Iran. And it appears that day has arrived. The United States and Israel are at war with numerous countries across the Middle East, including Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and of course, Palestine. Today I'm going to be talking about the very dangerous escalation in the region and the impact it will have on the rest of the world. But before that, I want to briefly tell you about an important issue that's happening. In recent weeks, there has been a wave of censorship going on, and many channels that speak out against war and empire have been censored. Their entire channel has been erased, including all of their videos. So if you want to follow our work, please consider also subscribing to our channel over at rumble.com/geopoliticaleconomy. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter on Substack over at geopoliticaleconomy.substack.com. We have links to both of those pages in the description below. Those are places where you can follow our work just in case one day you wake up and Geopolitical Economy Report has been erased. The channel is no longer on YouTube. It's a very scary possibility considering the extreme political censorship of independent journalists and media outlets that have been reporting critically on the crimes committed by the United States and its allies. This is the very dangerous political moment we're in which independent journalists are being detained and interrogated and censored on social media by big tech overlords in Silicon Valley. So please follow us on different platforms so we don't lose contact. Now that said, let's continue with the show. On the 1st of October, Iran responded to a series of Israeli attacks on Iran and inside Iranian territory. Tehran acted in self-defense and hit Israeli military targets, launching nearly 200 missiles in what it called Operation True Promise 2. And Iran claimed that it hit numerous targets inside Israel, including an Israeli air base that was housing F-35 fighter jets provided by the United States. And Iran said that it also hit the headquarters of Israel's spy agency, Mossad. Now, many Western politicians and pundits have misleadingly portrayed this as an Iranian act of aggression against Israel. But in reality, Iran was responding to numerous acts of war carried out by Israel against Iran. In April, Israel attacked Iran's consulate in Syria, which was an act of war against Iranian sovereign territory, according to international law. And at the time, even many mainstream Western think tanks warned that this could be the spark that ignites a broader Middle East war, which is exactly what it was. And then in another Israeli act of war in July, Mossad assassinated the Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, in Iranian territory. And then this September, Israel also assassinated a top Iranian general, Abbas Nilfurushan, in Israel's attacks in Lebanon, in Beirut. So it was inevitable that Iran was going to respond to these Israeli acts of war after Israel repeatedly attacked Iranian territory and assassinated Iranian officials. Now, what's funny about this Iranian attack is the contradictory Western narrative, because after U.S. President Joe Biden claimed that the U.S. helped Israel to defeat what he said was an ineffective Iranian attack, Biden claimed, quote, "The attack appears to have been defeated and ineffective, and this is testament to Israeli military capability and the U.S. military. It's also a testament to intensive planning between the United States and Israel," end quote. And then Biden insisted that the U.S. is, quote, fully supportive of Israel, end quote, repeating the word fully 3 times. I don't know how something can be full 3 times, but Biden also added that the U.S. government is, quote, in constant contact, end quote, with the Israeli government, planning operations together. Now, what's funny about this narrative is that the U.S. and Israel constantly claim that Iran is this big threat to the entire world, and they have to wage war on Iran and overthrow the Iranian government. But then they also say, oh, actually, Iran's not a threat. When Iran acted in self-defense and responded to Israel's attacks, Iran actually didn't hit any targets, they claim. They say Iran is actually weak. So which one is it? Is Iran this big, bad, evil boogeyman who's supposedly threatening everyone? Or is Iran weak and then the US and Israel can do whatever they want and face no consequences? It's a contradictory narrative. In fact, the US government constantly says that it must continue sending tens of billions of dollars of military support to Israel in order to, quote, ensure Israel's qualitative military edge, end quote, as is so often said by the US government. It's qualitative military edge. The US says Israel must have much better military technology than all of the other countries in the region. But if Israel is so strong and no one can ever touch it and it has the Iron Dome system, then why are we supposed to be afraid of Iran? Why are we supposed to be afraid of relatively smaller groups like Hezbollah? It shows that propagandists in Western governments and the Western media want to have their cake and eat it too. And this kind of hypocritical propaganda is especially clear when you look at Western media reporting on Israel's horrific war in Gaza, in which tens of thousands of civilians have been killed by Israel in the past year of brutal bombing using U.S. bombs, U.S. missiles, U.S. artillery, U.S. planes. Or if you look at the media reporting now on Israel's invasion of Lebanon and its bombing of Lebanon, you constantly read these headlines where they talk about Lebanon airstrikes, not mentioning that it's Israel launching those airstrikes on Lebanon. But then you compare headlines in those same media outlets about Iran's self-defense response to Israel, and they say Iran launches ballistic missiles against Israel. So there's a clear double standard. It's so obvious. And you can also see these double standards if you look at a chart showing the number of cross-border attacks in the past year between Israel and Lebanon. You can clearly see that Israel is responsible for the vast majority of attacks. Every
Okay, let me hear from you. That.
Yeah, you say station break, right?
Let me go for station.
Yeah, go to a station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is said? You give me a little voice thing before we go station.
Found the sound 99.9 FM.
Chip, we wanna get chip.
Give your little smartie the perfect smart start for their future with CHIP, the child investment plan from TDC Financial Services. Invest in your child's next step, and we know what's next is always changing.
Chip, we wanna get chip.
CHIP is a long-term plan with no minimum deposit, no monthly commitment, and you're guaranteed a special high interest rate per annum.
I want chip too.
Visit TDC Financial Services today and get CHIP, the child investment plan, providing the best head start for every child.
Chip, we wanna get chip.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
25 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. To our viewers and listeners, welcome back to this presentation of voices. We have with us Ras Kalonji in the studio. Chris Collins, good morning. How are you doing, brother? Good morning. And we just had a segment of a recording played. You mentioned Kalonji, the name of the gentleman. My question to you is this an aid of informing those who watch the news and appears to be getting only one side of it? You spoke about the hypocrisy of the news being presented about what's happening in the Middle East. So is that the purpose of this clip that you had played a while ago?
Exactly.
Okay. So you want to expand on that?
Yeah, well, basically what I'm saying is that there's so much information out there, right? And when you hear basically how we people respond to certain things, it's like the demonization of the Arab states or the so-called Muslim people, right? Is that they're terrorists, right? Now, for instance, we remember Colin Powell went to the UN and said that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. When they invaded, there was no weapons of mass destruction. But there was weapons of mass destruction because the United States gave them to him when he was their lackey. You see what I'm saying? He invaded Iran on behalf of the United States. They's the one that gave him the chemical weapons. But after the war, and after his position changed in terms of not being a lackey of them anymore, they determined that he have to give up the chemical weapons. And they knew that he didn't have any chemical weapons. You understand? So I'm just trying to show you is that we have to come to realize as a people that the same game they're running up in the so-called Middle East is the same game they run on us. You know, we sell our people into slavery. When they conquered Africa, they conquered China, they conquered India. It's the same process taking place from since when you had the Roman Empire, right? You had the Portuguese Empire, you had the Spanish Empire, you had the French Empire. Then you had the British Empire. Now you have the American Empire. And it's in decline. And they're coming up with all these narratives to tell our people that we must support them. You understand? When black people is in the same situation in terms of being oppressed in the United States. Because we saw George Floyd. And then when you tell our people that Sir George Floyd live and direct, and they come up with all kind of situations where they don't want to acknowledge it. You see what happened in England the other day when they had the riots up there. It was based on a lie that an immigrant killed these young people and they were Muslims. It's the same narrative that was using against the Cold War, against the Soviet Union. So what I'm saying to you is that our people need to wake up because we are facing Armageddon. We are facing World War III. And we got to imagine the United States say, Israel have the right to defend itself. But Brother Socrates, if I attack you, you have the right to defend yourself.
We were here last week discussing aspect of this particular situation with the U.S., the support for Israel, and the talking point that you just echoed. And it was agreed to that Israel, where it is geographically, serve the purpose of being a proxy, an extension of the American foreign policy. There, it gives them a foothold or footprint in a region whereby they can use Israel to execute their war by proxy. I mentioned back in 1974 when Nixon was president, and this guy I mentioned his name, he was Secretary of State.
Kissinger?
Yes. Very, very instrumental in mapping out the control of the area. And that first global, it wasn't a depression, but it was based on the fact that the Arabs objected to the fact that the Americans were supplying the Jews with arms and ammunition to suppress them. And they were in control of the oil reserves. So then they put an embargo on the U.S. And that crushed global economies. Everything went up because everything, even sugar and zinc, was tied to shipping. It's one of the reasons why the sugar industry and zinc has failed. Being cost intensive, very labor intensive, the added cost of shipping, because you can't move those ships without the oil reserves. So the Arabs putting that oil embargo on the U.S. And with us, many of our small and state economies linked to the U.S., it affected global economies. That is still happening today. It's just a different measure of controlling the oil reserves. One of the first things that Trump said when he got elected, that they need to go in the Middle East and take oil. You recall that?
But that's what I'm saying. That's in the
bold enough to say so.
Exactly.
So these policies being implemented through Israel, war of a proxy. A lot of folks were informed, but powerless to do anything about it.
But we have a caller.
Okay, good caller. Morning, welcome to the show. Good caller, you live on Voices. Welcome to the program. Okay, we may have lost his call. Okay, let's get your response as we stand by for the call. Okay, we have the comment board, so can you read it first because we can't see?
You just said, always good that you're able to bring Ras Kalonji on to share his thoughts with the community.
Okay, you got a plug? Okay, Ras
but we just here to inform and give the proper information. But what I'm saying, we have a call?
Good caller, you live on Voices.
Good day, Socrates.
Good day, sir.
Good day, Kalonji. Good day to everybody.
Good day.
Greetings once more in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of his sinners, of his elect chosen sinners from their sins and from hell. His blood saved them from, and he the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, first of all, I would like to say that, the last time we are calling, we kind of spoke about this matter, Socrates. Now, you see, I like to get specific, you see, because when I like to get specific, that is where the rubber meets the road. At this point in time, the last time we spoke, Socrates, you said, it is a U.S. policy, and the impression that I got that you were saying is that Biden and Kamala Harris can't really do nothing much about that. Like, they have to go along with the program.
It's baked into the cake,
because it is a U.S. policy, and I disagree with you. Because they could, if they had this spine, they could fuck the system and say, no, we are going to discontinue it. But they're weak and coward.
You're right.
But let me say...
I can see that. Let him finish this point.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that, we got to be specific. At this point in time, I cannot see how anybody who is going to condemn what Israel is doing to the Middle East, and at the same time, backing Biden and Kamala Harris, for enabling big-time Israel and standing behind them to enable them to do what they're doing in flattening Gaza and having Israel to do all sort of stuff. And the thing is, Africa called in, for example, and said, well, may not agree with Kamala as a politician, but as a woman, I want to see her become the president. Who vowed to carry on the same policies? And Biden said Kamala agree with him and support him in carrying out his policies. All of them. And Africa said, well, as a woman, he wants to become president. Well, let me ask a question. If it was done to St. Kitts, where America was flattening St. Kitts, would he have said, and anybody who think like him, would they have said, well, I agree with Kamala as a president, but as a woman, I want to see her come president. And she flattening St. Kitts? She helping to flatten St. Kitts? No, you would not have said that.
Your point is well taken. Your point is well taken.
Right. So what I'm saying, we need to stop this hypocrisy. You cannot back Kamala and Biden and at the same time condemning Israel. It's hypocrisy.
Okay, I think you're going to find you and Kalonji on the same page with this, but your point is well taken.
Yeah, and
we have limited time.
Above all this, I want to say the root cause of this is disobedience to the Bible. That's the root cause, and only the Bible could give us the solutions.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution. Kalonji, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, well, basically, I don't see no difference between he's saying they don't have the spine. Ain't that they don't have the spine, they're backing Israel in anything they do. That's just rhetoric. Who's sending the weaponry?
He's agreeing with you.
You know what I'm saying?
But the point I was trying to make is not just the individual choice. It's established U.S. policy.
Exactly.
That precedes Biden and Bush and all those.
All of
in place.
them. So that's what I'm saying. So what is the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans? There's none.
Correct.
You know? That's what I'm just like here. In the Federation, the different politicians. You know? It's a colonial policy. So I'm saying to you, we need to come up, we need to atone for our sins.
Jamster say here he had a question to pose to you. You ready for it, Jamster?
Okay, my question is, it's just a devil's advocate question. Iran, for example, they have the religiosity right up there in the name, the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now, I have an issue. I'm not saying they have or don't have justification for raining missiles on Israel, but I don't understand how you name your country the Islamic Republic of Iran and you go around bombing people. At least
those bombs were sent in retaliation, Jamster.
They were sent in retaliation.
In retaliation, justifiably so.
And they're also supplying weapons to Russia to attack Ukraine, who did nothing to them.
I'm going to leave that for you and
Wait, Jamster. America said South Africa was sending weapons to Russia, and it was a lie. And I remember this. Russia could produce their own weapons. They don't need nobody to send them no weapons.
But they can't at the moment.
Huh?
They can't.
Oh, you mean they can't? They produce their own weaponry.
Well, in the past.
They're doing it today. That's what I'm saying. What I'm trying to show you.
But you're missing the point. My point is, I understand the two religions are different. Islam takes a much more, and I'm going to use this term, control freakish approach to society and governance, because the religion also covers the way the country is governed, right? But I still have an issue. I just still have an issue where, you have these people who, these imams and the Ayatollah who set themselves up as, they're so pious and so holy, and here you are waging war with your neighbor, and you're supporting Putin attacking an innocent country. Justify that for me. I just don't understand.
Brother Jamster. In 2014, the United States government overthrew the government in Ukraine and installed what you have today. I can't understand how we don't...
Second, in 2014. Okay.
Yeah, I played the tape the last time.
I thought you said 2024, so my misunderstanding.
2014, in Russia, when the Soviet Union was dissolved, Gorbachev and the United States come to an agreement that certain countries cannot join NATO. And they reneged on that. I mean, I can't understand how we people can't see these things. There was a Budapest summit, right?
But Gorbachev can't decide who joins NATO. Gorbachev was for Russia.
Let me ask you a question.
How are you going to look at a sovereign nation and tell them they can't join NATO?
Let me ask you a question. Why we can't sell passports to Russians?
Why we can't sell passports to Russians?
Because the United States told us that. We're in a sovereign country.
Well, Jamster, you got your dear answer.
Not only that, Jamster.
No, he doesn't. No, it's not that.
I couldn't wait, but he decided to stay out and listen to you two guys.
He's avoiding the real issue.
No, man. Let me tell you this now. The United States is buying oil from Russia every day. They're buying oil from Russia every day, and uranium.
Answer the Iran question.
Okay, back to the Iran question, right? In 1953-52, right, Mossadegh, who was the prime minister of Iran, the United States killed him. That's why you have the Islamic Republic of Iran today. We have a telephone call.
You have a call? Okay.
Yeah.
But the caller, you'll have voices. There's an echo, there's a feedback.
Yes. Yes. I have to call again. I would like to make another contribution. Now, this thing about Ukraine being innocent and Russia being the big bad bully, it's a lot of propaganda. Now, first of all, I've said more than once on Win FM, it was America who overthrew the Ukraine government. You all should remember me saying that more than once on Win FM. The color revolution in 2014.
There's a feedback.
No, also, the Ukrainians, because of the U.S. puppet government that they set up after 2014, I forgot the man's name, and then Zelensky took over. They were bombing, the U.S. puppet government were bombing the people in the Donbass, the ethnic Russian in the Donbass. And they signed the Minsk Accord to stop it. But they still continued. Ukraine still continued. And guess what? Putin had to go into to defend his ethnic people in the Donbass area, which you won't hear the Western media tell you. Not only that, Ukraine and Russia was about on the edge of signing a peace deal. And America, and let me get specific. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and NATO forced the UK Prime Minister to go to Ukraine to tell Zelensky if he signed it, they're going to kill him. Because the Russians and Zelensky in Ukraine, they were ready to knock glasses to the peace deal that they were about to sign. You ain't going to hear the Western media tell you that. So it's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris with NATO that is really prolonging this war in Ukraine so that the military complex such as Lockheed Martin and so on could make a lot of profit off the sales of weapons and that sort of stuff. They want the war to end.
Baby,
hello.
You have Rex Kalonji in here jumping up, all excited. It's a way there where you're both on the same page. I mean, I know you're saying it's true. I'm not arguing with you, but I'm just marveling at the fact that you have Rex Kalonji in here jumping up and saying, that's the truth, that's the truth. We do have to pause for an next station break because we got like 45 minutes.
Who you think destroyed the Nord Stream pipe to? The U.S.?
Exactly. Where is Kalonji?
No, he's talking about the Nord Stream.
I know, but I want to hear you. I want to hear you with the confirmation. But we do have to pause for next station ID. So we'll do this right about now. Then we get back to this discussion.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM. We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
Buster, pour it up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, Bust the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Bust and you're full of vibes, living full color. I know black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, Bust the colors in my life.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Don't mind that from them.
Such a debate. You got Jamster up in arms, Rascal and G up in arms, Greggy calling in, and we all seem to be on the same page. What a morning. We have about by the way, I want to say good morning to Amber Luis over there in Anguilla. How is Cleo? How is husband? Everybody okay? Anyway, we got about 40 minutes to go before we get to the midday newscast. So I want to hear from Vascolonji. Just maximize, what's the topic you want to explore on?
Yeah,
today?
I want to mention something here that I left out. Next month, November, will be the 385th anniversary of the first slave rebellion in St. Kitts, happening 1739. The first slave rebellion.
Educate us.
You understand? So we're acknowledging that because the anniversary is coming up next month. The 385th anniversary of that rebellion. You see,
where did this take place? Where in St. Kitts?
I think it's in Capistile. Not in the French side. On the French side.
Capistile is the French side?
Yeah. You understand? So I just want all people to know that. Right? And
any more particulars?
Huh?
You say it's in Capistile.
Yeah, I think it's in Deep Bay.
Deep Bay.
Up in the mountains, in that region. And you see, I want to mention too, you see how sluggish the economy is? Right? And I'm telling people all the time, I'm not saying that the government can institute certain things locally, but in an overall sense, our economy is tied in, the whole Western economy is tied into the metropolitan countries, especially the United States. Now, a lot of people is de-dollarizing. They're coming off the dollar because the dollar is in serious problem. And if this thing kicks off in the so-called Middle East, it's going to make things worse. Because you talked before about the whole question of the transshipment of oil and them kind of stuff, right? The inflation going to escalate, you understand? And things going to get more expensive.
Venezuela will come more into play.
Exactly. And remember, the seas all of, Brother Jamster, the seas all of Venezuelan money. The seas all of Iran money. The seas $400 billion of Russian money. You understand? So, what I'm saying to you is that they will do the same thing to us. And they have done it for 400 years based on our enslavement. So these things are nothing new. Just like how they outlining that Russia and China and Iran and all these people are enemies of democracy. I even heard Netanyahu say that they're against civilization. Well, when the Haitian Revolution took place, there was no Soviet Union, there was no China, there was no Iran, and the boogeyman was Haiti. Just like how the boogeyman now is communism and all these things. Haiti was the boogeyman. The United States invaded Haiti in 1915. So I'm saying to you, it's the same colonial card they're playing. Now, what is happening now is that the colonizers have moved into the fascist stage. Fascism is the open terroristic dictatorship of the most reactionary, most chauvinistic form of finance, capital, and imperialism. And we are in the fascist state. Fascism is white supremacy. Because you see what they're doing to the Palestinian people. They're committing genocide on them. And nobody could tell them anything. So I'm saying to our people, it's time for us to unite. No, we're saying how we could get all these things. We don't have any power. Once we unite as a people, it's all over here.
What clout does the voice have at the UN, especially when we're making presentation and the hall is empty?
Good point, my brother. Good point.
Anytime leaders from this region, take Motley, take our Prime Minister, making a presentation, and I think he had something to say about the same issue with the Middle East and about Haiti, the halls are empty.
They have no respect for us.
So we're talking
to empty hall.
To empty hall. What is saying we don't want to hear you? We're just going through the ropes. Well, you're a sovereign nation. You have a voice at the UN, but nobody's listening. The key persons should be listening. They go a long time by design. The slot they give you on that ticket means you're speaking to an empty hall, but you went to the UN.
Not only that, Brother Jamster, when Zimbabwe took back the lands from the colonizers, the Western world put sanctions on Zimbabwe.
IMF,
the same people,
World Bank, the working cohesion.
all of them. You know, and then what I'm saying to you is that we keep talking this thing about democracy and freedom of expression and all these things. It's hypocrisy.
And they led an orchestrated campaign against Mugabe. CNN, BBC, those major news platforms are the ones who sold the narrative to the world. He was this, he was that. They funded his opposition. They funded his overthrow. That's what they do. They fund the coups to destabilize the region, and then they're going now to clean up and then to claim more land. It's part of a global policy going back eons. It's nothing new. But Ras Kalonji keeps saying, we need to get together. The destabilizing factor, the divide and rule policy still is very much in play.
And the only way we could stop that, we have to unite as a people. That is the solution. How I gonna be your enemy? Brother Jamsa, Brother Socrates, both of us was locked down under COVID. We wasn't responsible for COVID. But we had to bear the consequences. So how are we gonna be your enemy? How are we gonna be a PAM against a Labour? NRP against CCM? Them things is to keep us apart. We have to have a national consciousness, and we're putting forward the movement for national unity. Look how we're here killing ourselves. We don't manufacture weapons.
But hear this. What is the population of the U.S.?
About 370 million people.
No, about 360. About 360.
Okay.
Yeah. What is the population of India?
About 1.3 billion people.
1.4.
Okay.
The population of China?
1.4.
Africa?
1.4.
Right. The listed population of China, 1.4. Of India, 1.4. Of Africa, they tell you how much in Nigeria, how much here, but is 1.4 in Africa. But they never give you the totality of the population. They tell you 100-something million in Nigeria, blah, 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 blah. But at least to show you. And way down on the totem pole, they have America, 360 million. You understand? But they run the world. Why? How?
Because after the Second World War, well,
before that,
yeah, the British Empire, the United States became the world power around 1890, because the transition was taking place basically from England, right? And then remember, they had in 17th century, you had the American
after the Revolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could say around the 1890s, the power was shifting, but they really consolidated after the Second World War.
Built on immigrant labor.
Exactly. No, okay, Brother Jamster, Trump saying that Haitians are eating cats, right? Trump is an immigrant. Everybody in the United States are immigrants, except the native people.
Except the Africans. We don't go there as immigrants. We do not go there as immigrants.
You see? So what I'm saying to you is that we got to get our narrative straight.
Even when those Haitians in America is speaking about what's happening now about the Haitian contribution, they don't seem to know that Haiti sent forces to fight in the U.S. Revolution. Haiti said yes. Haiti sent forces to fight and assist in the American Revolution.
Because the cause was one of the same, fighting against colonization.
You know
and
that, Jamsa?
enslavement.
No, they did.
Yeah.
Send forces to fight and assist in the American Revolution. But those guys don't seem to know that. I mentioned because you tell Trump, what are you talking about? Haitians is partially responsible for American independence. They sent forces to fight in the American Revolution.
And when he's talking about Haitian eating cats, our people will internalize that and say, yeah, they're eating cats for real.
I heard a black pastor up there chatting nonsense about yes, all the work voodoo and the human sacrifice and animal. I'm thinking, but you're so stupid. But I really can't tell him because, right? But he's preaching to congregation that nonsense that J.D. Vance and things spewed out.
And what I'm
we have a few minutes. Let's take a call. Go to call your live on Voices.
Yeah, Socrates.
Yes, sir.
Let me quickly say this again. What Trump said was pure nonsense. Okay, very pure nonsense. And I think he should apologize for the nonsense that he said. But what I'm also going to say is this: coming together, people coming together means nothing. As a matter of fact, people coming together might be more destructive if you come together over on the wrong side. Because coming together doesn't mean that you're on the right side. Coming together, as a matter of fact, most unity is they are really on the wrong side. If we do not come together over the teachings of the Bible, we will only be coming together in hell. Because that will be our final destination if we do not come together over the teaching of the Bible. So coming together ain't the answer in and of itself.
You think we should atone for our sins that we have committed against each other here in the Federation?
Well, we should recognize our sin. We should confess our sins. And depends on what you mean by atonement, depends on what you mean by it. We should right our wrongs with each other.
But that's what we are calling for.
Hello?
That's what we are calling for.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if these things are not done in a biblical context, it would be counterproductive because it would be wrong. It would be done in the wrong context.
But look at it in a secular sense where I can't tell a person what to believe in. I respect whatever they believe in. But we could come together based on common ground. We have a common history here. Our common history is enslavement.
Yeah, but if that common history that we come together over, if it is not over the Bible, but over anything else, even over slavery, it is a wrong coming together in a wrong context. Because God is the one, Jesus is the one who freed us from slavery as he has done. And if we do not give him the glory, and if we do not show him gratitude, he in his own timing would make it work against us.
Okay,
and
so
I've already seen Jesus doing that.
Here's what we got about 30 seconds before we break for the midday newscast. So we have two versions of coming together. Kalonji, you have your version of coming together. Greg, we have.
So respect one another. That's all. That's all is respect.
Jams, you have one. Let's get a comment. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have two comments here. This person says, and they are demonizing Venezuela, trying to kill the Bolivarian revolution. We need to stand up unitedly for righteousness. And the last one, what is the population of the nuclear missiles that they have is the more pertinent question. That's what that comes.
Who's it they have? Who's it they?
Meaning, we were talking about, you remember you were talking about the population of the various countries.
Okay.
So the person is saying the more pertinent question is how many nuclear missiles each of them has.
And the U.S. have more in terms of their
Russia
stockpile.
has more.
In terms of their stockpile and what is spent on defense, more than all those other countries or nations combined.
Actually, no. Russia has the most.
Do you think so?
Then the U.S. is second.
Spending more. What I'm saying.
Spending more, yeah, for sure.
Than all the other nations combined, and we are at that point where we have to pause for the presentation of the Win FM's midday newscast. See you on the other side.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM. Found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, National Bank, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Now loans, cash at the speed of light, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, right now, right now. If you need cash in a flash with now, no need to fuss, leave it to us. When you need cash in a flash, no need to fuss, leave it to us. Hear me now. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, right now, right now. Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming.
When life throws surprises your way, Now's here to help. Whether it's for an urgent bill payment, home improvements, or unexpected health expenses, or even that last-minute holiday trip, with Now, you get cash in a flash. Approved in just 24 hours.
Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, right now, right now.
A loan product powered by National Bank.
With the Win FM headline news, I am Yulana Weeks. Locally, man fatally wounded in Nevis. Police confirm a mauling incident in Nevis. The St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival Committee makes a financial commitment to Calypsonians to assist with music recording. The details and more straight ahead. On the night of October 6, 2024, between 10:30 p.m. and 11 p.m., a man was fatally wounded at Nisbet Settlement in Newcastle, Nevis, marking St. Kitts and Nevis's 27th homicide of the year. The victim, Dinsey Llewellyn Ryan, showed no signs of life upon the police's arrival to the scene and was later pronounced dead by the district medical officer. According to a police report, initial inquiries suggest that Mr. Ryan was shot multiple times by an armed assailant shortly after exiting his vehicle near his home. The crime scene unit of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force processed the scene and collected several exhibits to aid in the investigation. Ryan's killing is the 5th homicide recorded in Nevis in 2024. Anyone with information about the latest homicide or any other criminal matter is encouraged to contact the nearest police station or make a report via the Crime Stoppers hotline by dialing 707. A Nivision couple, Ronald and Marlene King, were viciously mauled by family dogs on Saturday morning, October 5, 2024, at Hamilton Estate. According to a police report, the wife, Marlene King, was attempting to secure 2 pit bulls that had become loose, and in her pursuit, one of the dogs attacked her, causing severe injuries to her arms and legs. The husband, Ronald King, intervened and killed one of the pit bulls with a knife, but he too was bitten multiple times about the body. Police said the other dog was shot dead by Mr. King's friend, who is a licensed firearm holder and was present during the incident. Mrs. King was transported to the Alexandra Hospital via ambulance, rushed into emergency surgery, and then warded in a stable condition. Mr. King sustained less severe wounds and was not hospitalized. The St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival Committee announced a new initiative aimed at alleviating the financial burdens of Calypsonians and ensuring their songs receive the exposure they deserve. The St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival Committee will contribute $500 towards a recording of any calypso released in October 2024. According to the St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival Committee, quote, many calypsos only debut in tents and are not properly recorded due to financial constraints, limiting their reach and impact. By assisting with recording costs, the St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival Committee aims to ensure these powerful voices are heard earlier in the season across both the traditional radio and the social media, giving Calypsonians the recognition they rightly deserve. This initiative not only underscores the St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival Committee's commitment to supporting Calypsonians, but also ensures that the essence of our carnival, its music, stories, and heritage is preserved and promoted for all to enjoy, unquote. More than 60 Calypsonians have registered for the 2024 to 2025 Calypso Monarch competition, the Carnival Committee confirmed. Calypsonians were urged to take advantage of the opportunity to release their music early and reach wider audiences. The Carnival Secretariat can be contacted at 869-466-0058 or email info@skncarnival.com. Meanwhile, the St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival Committee expects Sugar Mass 53 to be one of the most anticipated in recent times.
Regionally, the United Nations Migration Agency says nearly 63,000 people have fled their homes in the aftermath of an attack in central Haiti by heavily armed gang members that killed at least 70 people. The agency says nearly 90% of the displaced are staying with relatives and host families, while 12% have found refuge in other sites, including a school. The attack in Pont Sunday happened in the early hours of Thursday morning, and many left in the middle of the night. Bodies lay strewn on the streets of Pont Sunday following the attack in the Artibonite region, many of them killed by a shot to the head. Meantime, Haitian Prime Minister Gary Connelly has embarked on a trip to the United Arab Emirates and Kenya to seek security assistance in the aftermath of one of the deadliest gang attacks in the Caribbean nation in recent years. The massacre caused widespread shock even in a country that has grown accustomed to outbreaks of violence and where the National Police Force is outgunned and understaffed.
Major development way of Buda, sparking hope for long-term growth.
Tourism Minister, the Honorable Charles Fernandez, and Barbuda Affairs Minister, the Honorable E.P. Chet Green, are optimistic about the new opportunities for Barbudans with investments, infrastructure, and tourism fueling the island's future. We get a report on this from Jamie Roche.
The facility, soon to be renamed the Burton Nabes International Airport, is the crown jewel of Barbuda's developmental efforts. But Tourism Minister, the Honorable Charles Fernandez, says it's just the start of a wave of advancement that promises more jobs and investment.
I have great expectations for Barbuda. The other thing about it is when you go high end, you don't get as much problems, and as I say, you get bigger tips. The staff working in Barbuda or employees in Barbuda could look to benefit more.
He says the government will eventually extend the island's runway by 2,000 feet to accommodate larger planes. Minister Fernandez is also organizing for cruise ships to bring thousands of visitors to Barbuda, a first for the island.
We're going to have a number of small cruise ships coming there with over 5,000 in all visitors over the next season, which is a first for Barbuda.
Yes.
And I think they will then, understand the importance of it.
Along with the cruise ships, road work is ramping up, and there's even talk about a small marina for yachts. This, along with the potential for increased domestic and regional visitors, has the minister urging Barbudans to invest in short-term properties.
That you're going to have not just a high-end aircraft, you're going to have other Antiguans want to spend a weekend. You're going to have other people in the other islands want to see the pink sand beach.
Yes.
They want to see what
Princess
we're marketing,
Diana.
how we're marketing Barbuda.
What Diana loves so much.
They want
Diana,
to
what
see
she loves
this place that's better than St. Bart's. So you're going to find, in my opinion, there will definitely now be who want to invest in their own short-term properties.
Minister of Barbuda Affairs, the Honorable E.P. Chet Green, says the Barbuda Council needs to strategize for this new economic wave.
They need to start sitting, have discussions among themselves about the various areas of commerce and industry that will happen on Barbuda, and the tax or taxes that will flow therefrom, because the council has certain responsibilities under law. And what we're seeing is something never before seen.
With airline Winnie already applying to fly into Barbuda and talks of more airlines following suit, the government says the island's future is looking extremely bright. Jamie J. Roche, ABS News.
Internationally,
a walkout staged by Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi nearly overshadowed the summit of French-speaking countries held in Paris over the weekend. To protest French President Emmanuel Macron's opening speech not mentioning the conflict in eastern Congo, Tshisekedi boycotted the summit's heads of state retreat in an embarrassing moment for French diplomacy. Tshisekedi also skipped a luncheon organized by Louis Mushikiwabo, the head of the Organization of Francophone Countries, on Saturday afternoon. Before becoming the organization's chief, Mushikiwabo served for years as Rwanda's foreign minister. Kinshasa considered the omission of the war in eastern Congo an attempt by Paris to appease Kigali. Congo and the United Nations say Rwanda's troops and M23 rebels are fighting side by side on its territory. In its defense, Macron denied taking sides, saying he encouraged both countries to reach an agreement in talks mediated by Angola.
Today, Israel is marking 1 year since Hamas launched its devastating attacks across the country, in which around 1,200 people were killed and hundreds were taken hostage. The events of October 7th sparked the war in Gaza, where nearly 42,000 people have been killed, according to local health officials. Now this, as fighting in the region rages on. This morning, air raid sirens rang out in central Tel Aviv after projectiles were fired from Gaza. Meantime, Israeli forces are continuing their offensive against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Overnight, Hezbollah rockets struck the Israeli port city of Haifa. That's where Israeli media reports that at least 10 people were injured. And the Hostages and Missing Families Forum says this man, Idan Stevie, has died. He was taken captive by Hamas at the Nova Music Festival last year. For more on all of today's events, I want to bring in CBS News reporter Haley Ott. Haley, how are Israelis marking what is a significant commemoration today?
Behind me, they're preparing for what's expected to be a large memorial here in Tel Aviv later today. But earlier today, Israelis gathered at the sites of some of those atrocities that took place last October 7th, the kibbutzim that are near Gaza, the site of the Nova Music Festival. And people there gathered to mourn. The people that I spoke to said that they were feeling shock and that they were feeling sadness. Shock at the fact that this conflict has gone on for now a whole year, that it's escalated so significantly. Almost 42,000 people in Gaza have been killed in Israel's response to those Hamas attacks. And just devastating sadness that there are still dozens of hostages being held in captivity in Gaza.
And I would imagine it's difficult to mourn and to remember when the security situation is actually getting worse. How is that affecting memorials?
Yes, so actually the memorial that we're at right now was initially planned before there were any security restrictions. Tens of thousands of people were expected to attend. And then with all of the escalation that we've seen over the past week or so, those restrictions have changed. The government and the military have said that only a couple thousand people can gather in central Israel at one time. We've heard from the organizers of this event that they have special permission for 4,000 people to attend, but organizers have said that most people should stay at home to commemorate this very sad day.
All right, Haley Ott in Tel Aviv for us. Thank you, Haley. We have a breaking update for you on Hurricane Milton. It just strengthened to a Category 4 storm along Florida's Gulf Coast. That means it could bring with it catastrophic damage, according to the Weather Service. If it hits at this strength, the area it comes in contact with may be uninhabitable for weeks. And of course, this is happening after the wrath of Helene less than 2 weeks ago. Hurricane Milton expected to make landfall Wednesday. Tampa Airport already suspending flights starting tomorrow morning. And this morning, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said emergency services are actually trying to ramp up as they complete cleanup efforts from Helene. He says that's critical before Milton arrives.
We had a lot of debris left from Hurricane Helene on Florida's Gulf Coast. That creates a huge hazard if you have a major hurricane hit in that area this week.
CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez joins us from Tampa, Florida. Pressure mounting, Chris, to speed up the clean effort after Helene. But how is that possible since folks are already doing as much as they can?
Errol, it is just so absolutely challenging, and I want to give you a sense of how folks here in the Tampa Bay area are preparing. We're in St. Petersburg, and we've got folks here that are waiting to pick up sandbags. I spoke to one man who said that he was in line for about 2 hours before getting to this point where he was able to actually grab some sandbags. He's in a Zone A evacuation zone, and they're already being told that they're likely to be evacuated. In fact, the evacuations here could reach up to Zone C. At this point, people are just sort of preparing for what could potentially happen. Keep this in mind that the Tampa Bay area has not had a major hurricane make a direct landfall since 1921. That's over 100 years ago, so it's truly something that would be untested for this area. Just around the corner from here, about 10 minutes away, we were in a neighborhood that was just that had about 6 feet of storm surge. 80% of the homes there were flooded, and people's belongings are just out on the street. There is so much concern, of course, about that debris as well, the potential for that debris to go flying and for it to clog up the storm drains as Hurricane Milton is barreling this way.
Christian, I'm hopeful that viewers there are heeding your advice and the advice from officials to get to a safe place, but we don't want to frighten people, but this is a serious storm on the way. Christian Benavidez, thanks so much. You and the crew stay safe.
That was the WinFM Headline News. The Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, National Bank, and Carib Brewery.
Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans. of life. Right now, right now. If you need cash in a flash with now, no need to fuss, leave it to us. When you need cash in a flash, no need to fuss, leave it to us. Hear me now. Now, loans, cash at the speed of life. So fast you won't believe it. Now, loans, cash at the speed of life. Right now, right now. Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming.
When life throws surprises your way, now's here to help. Whether it's for an urgent bill payment, home improvements, or unexpected health expenses, or even that last-minute holiday trip. With Now, you get cash in a flash, approved in just 24 hours.
Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming. Now, loans, cash at the speed of life. So fast you won't believe it. Now, loans, cash at the speed of life. Right now, right now.
A loan product powered by National Bank.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
Double the cash back. Double the groceries. Double the savings. Only at Hortsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Happening now, when you make a higher purchase, you'll get double cash back coupons for double the free groceries. Are you serious? Shop for the furniture and appliances you need, and we'll help you fill your fridge and kitchen too.
Nah, me.
But that's not all. You'll also have a chance to win free groceries for a year or a 4-piece living room set that will transform your space into a cozy haven.
Say what?
Don't miss out on double the rewards and double the savings. Visit Horchford's Furniture and Appliances or Ashley Furniture Home Store today and start your journey to a better home and a fuller kitchen.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit any Horchford's location for details.
Double the deals, double the delight, double the cash back, double the groceries, double the savings. Only at Horchford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Stores, happening now.
Here are your Horchford Value Mart IGA Independence 41 specials for September 19th through October 2nd. Now, our Value Club Blue Tags.
Okay, my clock says it's 12:26 as we launch into the second half of today's presentation of Voices. I want to thank Waskalunji and the callers who were part of this first half of the morning debate. Rosemary said to you that you did a wonderful job. That's her friend in New York. So she always loves, she says she actually learns a lot from you when you're on. So she sent me some, little applause. So take that into consideration. All right, I'm expecting a guest from the Carnival Committee, but they're not here yet. So what I'm going to do, Jam, say, is go into some of the stuff that I had hinted to last week when I was here, that there was a meeting planned for Saturday. It was chaired by Apanati, the chairman of the Calypso Subcommittee, but present was the chairperson of Carnival, Ms. Shannon Harley, the director of Carnival, Clement Agara Monarch, and there were two other committee members there. The attendance in terms of Calypsonians was rather weak. We started late. It was due for 2 o'clock, but they were waiting for others to show up. We had at least one person from Nevis, being the mother of the Invincible. She showed up. Of course, she represented her son. There was the reigning Calypso monarch and other Calypsonians. I would say that the whole discussion was held in a spirit of compromise and cooperation. The concerns expressed by the Carnival Committee was about how do we improve on last year's performance in terms of the Calypso tents, the overall experience, what may have been, what could be improved on, the weakness and the strengths of the previous carnival, and how do we go forward. There were discussions about the building that atmosphere that used to prevail or precede the carnival in terms of the sense of marketing. We touched on the fact that yesteryear, and the name of Clarence Edwards came into play, right? You didn't have to go and we only had one radio station back then. But everybody at home and abroad, by whatever means, they're logged on to ZAZ. I drew the comparison that during the summertime, everybody in St. Kitts knew all the Calypsos from Antigua, because we logged on the radio station and they played them. Here in St. Kitts, they in Antigua know all the Calypsos. People from St. Kitts in the USVI, those from Nevis up there, they logged on to the Calypsos. It was part of a culture. And so by the time the tents opened and got into the meat of carnival, everybody knew the Calypsos, the fan base came out, etc. Now, we admitted it's a dying demographic. It's an older demographic. And the question was raised, how do we get the younger people involved, build that interest in Calypso? There was a recommendation that you take it into the schools. Don't just wait until October, when the kids are studying for exams, to start writing a song for them. They have to focus on their exams and then try to focus on Calypso. The mothers are all excited. and they want to give them props, but they don't really understand the culture of it. You know? And I pointed out that is why the junior Calypso monarch from Nevis was always better prepared. He would have been on stage since August in Culturama. So he's ready. So you have to look at that model. You have to look at taking Calypso, understanding it. The historic role it played in our liberation. The history of Calypso, not the version that it was. It came out of Trinidad on the plantation. No, it's much bigger than that. It came from West Africa. Right. Pan, I mentioned that. How that served as a revival for Pan in St. Kitts. We have X amount of bands in the competitions. And so one of the steps, there you go. There you go. And yes, so we were looking at the tents. How do we get people out to the tents? In a previous conversation, we were discussing an approach to the tents to get more people out supporting, because it's a shrinking demographic of tent supporters, right? And looking at venues, where do we go? How do we reach people? Back in the day, we used to go to Keon, Sadler's, Sandy Point, all around. That has changed for a lot of reasons. One of the initiatives or an agreement that we came to was how to assist the Calypsonian getting a song that was what we call radio ready. Not just having to wait until the tents open to hear the new songs, but getting the artist recorded with a qualitative product that can be played on the radio. This is where the conversation turned to getting the DJs, and your name was mentioned, into that discussion as how to better cooperate in marketing the product. Marketing the product. So people will go to the tents with a sense of what they're hearing, what to expect. You know, we have about, say, 2 radio stations on Nevis. We have about maybe 6 in St. Kitts. And you can hardly hear the songs. The DJs will tell you, well, the song them they're not of quality, so they don't play them. They rather play the other genres from different islands around the region, and we get a little token play here and there. So the Carnival Committee has discussed reaching out to the radio stations, those online, the traditional radio station, speaking with them to get them into a partnership in helping to market the Carnival product. It's beautiful. But the folks out there who may not listen to traditional, there's a new online platform, get them out there. So, the incentive is they are going to pay the recording studios up to $500 for Calypsonians who wishes to record. They are looking at a number of local studios, recording studios, where the Calypsonian can go there, record his material, present a receipt to the Carnival Committee, and they in turn would reimburse the studio. I think that was tremendous for those who would have seen that online. They were very commendable in their remarks. And I'm urging Calypsonians because, as I said, they were very poor attendance. It's one of the reasons why I expected somebody to come and help me get the information up there. Calypsonians who would have had difficulties in the past of finding a recording studio to record the material, to get a qualitative recording so it can be aired on the various platforms. You have a chance now to go to your preferred recording studio, have your song recorded, engineered properly, and take it to the Carnival Committee. They will now try to facilitate discussions with DJs to push your song, push the whole Carnival product, etc. So for those who may not have heard this before, have intentions to go and record, but you don't have the funds for that, the Carnival Committee has given an undertaking to assist the Calypsonians And even though it's a 2-song competition, they're not going to pay for the recording of 2 songs. The studio cost, is $500. They will do that for the recording of 1 song. At least they're meeting you halfway in terms of being prepared with a good product. Where in October, the complaint has always been that the tents open too late, the songs come out too late, etc. This is an attempt to address that problem in terms of getting the songs out there, because as we know, the whole thing starts with the new releases of Carnival. Monarch made a remark, which I laughed at. He says, a lot of Calypsonians come to the tents and they start competing for the crown there and then. People come out to the tents to relax, enjoy the humor in the song. You know what I mean? But guys are coming out too serious. They start competing for the crown from the tent. And tent should be about atmosphere where Calypsonians come out to enjoy themselves, not Calypsonian, the crowd, to laugh at the Calypsonian. You know, and I mentioned the attraction that the unexpected and rock provided. People came out and they flocked that particular tent for the humor. You know, let's say the late great Rock. He could not sing. But he used to come on stage and he had no timing. But when he's singing, he had to look back at Ringgrove to know when to come back in. But people came and they had tons and tons of fun. I agree with Monarch with that. Unexpected. One of our better writers when it comes to extempo, hands down, he is there. Right? Over the past couple of years, he hasn't produced anything. Like when he sang about Focus. These are the songs that brought, full of rock. But Focus to me was a classic. And he just went on, you know what I mean, about the car and the Toyota and people were like, and that's why people like him, his contribution is greatly missed. And people look forward to seeing him, right? It has been said that in my tent, we have the most serious songs. But people don't want to hear those serious songs at the start or during the 10th season. But being a shorter season, people tend to want to make sure they get their better song, their best song out. That being said, there is an ongoing discussion also from the Carnival Committee as to how they can better support the tents. They're looking at venues, and a couple of was mentioned where they can better accommodate a larger crowd. The atmosphere of a tent is so very important. You know, very serious discussions, and I want to applaud them for that. I know Carl Brown is a man who loves his Calypso tent, and he wants to know when the thing will open. We hear Chris Collins, he's chiming in, he says, no Calypso, no Carnival. Well, in some countries now, even in London, you hear the DJs pushing the whole Jamaican thing, and there's a big discussion. One of them saying, hey, Calypso and soca is a Trinidad thing. Don't bring the Jamaican thing into it. So you're having that overlap of the DJs pushing the reggae and the dub and dancehall during a Carnival parade. And this lady from Jamaica saying, hey, you got to push Calypso and soca. Let's take this call. Go, they caller. You live on Voices.
No caller. I was about to say. I got to say, I agree with that, because I remember about 3 years ago, I was watching a video.
Can we hear you?
Yeah. I was saying I was watching a Notting Hill video, right? Mm-hmm. It was last lap. It was like the last day.
Yep.
Of a sound system playing somewhere there.
Yep.
And it's all reggae they were playing and dancehall, and I'm like, but this is Carnival. Where's the soca? You know, I was really upset. I watched it. It was fun, for what it was. But I was like, but where's the soca? This is Notting Hill.
A Jamaican lady was really ticked off about the commentary about Willie's Caribbean music. Yes, but you're taken away from the signature of the West Indian Carnival. It was Calypso, it was steel band, Calypso, and the morph in the soca bass. You know, Being up there on, London, Notting Hill Carnival is the largest carnival in Europe, created by West Indians, and one has to give them credit for that. There's been many attempts to shut it down. You have 2 million people in the street over a weekend. You have maybe 5-6 incidents. And they blow that out of proportion. Or there was a stabbing here. How many people in the street? And then a large percentage of them, they try to make it look like black people, violent and stabbing and crime. A large percentage of them, which I've witnessed, are white people who are drunk, drink too many beers and carry on. But they try to put this stamp on it, oh, West Indians, there's a lot of crime and this and that and that. You have 2 million people in the street over a weekend period, just out partying.
And then you have
about 3-4 stabbings.
You have the mainstream music festivals where things happen, but you don't hear them.
They don't touch that.
They don't blow those out of proportion.
And so one has to take these things into consideration. So, being the largest carnival in the world, I've been on the DS when the bands are passing. Dominica have their own unique sound, coming out, and then the colors. Grenada, jab, right? The biggest troupe that you find on display there is from Brazil.
Oh, they have a Brazilian troupe.
Long from here to the top of 4th Street.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, so many sections. Remember, you have the competition in the region as to have the biggest carnival in the world, Brazil or Trinidad. So when they come out to represent, they're just awesome. Trinidad really represented. I mean, the flag is flying. You hear the song by Marshall Montano, all the Trinidad latest hits. It's big. It's big.
So, what are some of the proposed venues for the tents? Sugar Mass.
I don't want to for Sugar Mass.
Well,
for the tents.
For the tents,
Spratnet is a given. There's a other venue mentioned for reason I won't speak about it because they're still looking at the challenges. But it's a beautiful venue. But until the Carnival Committee officially get permission to say, well, this is, but I think it's going to be in play. It's in the Bastia area. So in terms of traveling west, Spratnet is good, right? Let me venture a little further. Her name, she owns a gas station up the top of 4th Street there.
Shalita.
No. Top of 4th Street. Oh, yes. She owns it or she owns it? Walwyn.
Oh, Christina.
Christine Walwyn have a beautiful place down there, up Winfield Road, above the railway bar. Have you not seen it?
In Old Road?
In Old Road.
Oh, I didn't know that was.
It's awesomely beautiful, great for tent. That's part of the discussion. You gotta go up there and see it above the railway bar.
I've heard about it. Never
it's
been
awesome.
there.
I forget. Wait,
I think I went there once actually. Yeah,
it's good for tent also. So that's a consideration, and the discussion of joint tents, rather than having 3-4 tents and maybe 10 people showing up. And 3-4 on the other side, you have a joint tent, so people are served because, as I say, it's a shrinking demographic of the people who go out and support the tents. So we're looking to get Calypsonians in the studios, recorded and out. I recorded a young man yesterday. I promised him that by the 12th of this month, he will have his product in his hand. There are others coming now, so it's a rush to get that out, but we want us to make the sacrifice on the contribution. Nevis, of course, we have the Nevision continued coming down. We have the Carnival Committee who will be accommodating that because it's a cost. It's a major cost to be able to. And then there's a discussion. I'm going to go out on a limb and put that out there that maybe the semifinals could be held in Nevis. What do you think about that?
I like that idea, actually.
What does this say for the Federation? I mean, the whole carnival, because they have the whole cultural issue. But carnival is national.
No, we have to be bigger than that.
They have to be bigger than that.
Yeah. Never mind if the divisions want to have their do their petty provincial stuff for Culturama. That doesn't mean we have to do it. I feel like that's a good idea because I think new visions generally are more appreciative of events and they go out and support. So I feel like that's a good idea. I just hope they're going to promote them properly, meaning
the
radio
committee
ads,
to be
radio ads and everything. I find that's been a big problem over the last few years where they have events and they feel like they can only promote them. They could only promote them doing social media and think that
Right.
they're going to really get the attendance. But I think you have to have a mix of marketing and promotion, not just social
One of the
media.
challenges in going to Nevis to support events, we have so many more options in terms of the water taxes, etc. And we know that petitions in the numbers, like an outing, they love an outing. So you have the access of, say, maybe 200 petitions going across to Nevis to support it. And because you're going to see the competition between, who wins, the fan base comes out. So I think that's a good idea and it will be a great initiative, but they're taking it on board for consideration.
I think it's a good idea.
So I think we're going to shape up to a very good carnival. And I want to thank the Carnival Committee, the Calypso Subcommittee for the initiative, the outreach to the Calypsonians, and sponsoring the recordings. I'm hoping that by the middle of the month, they can have some new songs with good quality offered for the public on the various platforms, online, traditional radio, what have we.
How many Calypsonians
registered?
Yeah.
According to Abernathy, 60. 60. We have a number of them living overseas. I saw the Mighty Pat. He reached out. I saw Green Tea. He was in from New York, I think, last year. And they are indicating they want to be here. So they want to be kept informed as to and updated on all matters relating to Carnival, especially Calypso. This tells me that they want to be here for that. They were a great addition to the product last year. So it's going to be wonderful. We have one or two new Calypsonians. We have a young one. Her name is Lady Legacy. She is going to be with the Legends 10. So yes, there will be a Legends 10. And I'm looking forward to hearing her presentation and doing the stuff.
Let's get a little piece of green tea from last year.
Okay. Green tea live in the Rex.
Same treaty we preach. We so conniving, we don't practice what we preach. Superpowers holding this world for ransom. Anytime they could light a fuse, and one action will cause a reaction, and all of us going to lose the gift of life given to us by God above. All because in mankind's heart we can't find no love. It's only we can make things better. If we use love as the key, we can save humanity. It's only we can make things better if we open up our heart.
Oh, that was a great song. So we got a bit of Mighty Pats, Alien in My Country.
I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over slowly in my country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Take it, leave this, that shouldn't be. Foreigners taking over slowly like a bulldozer. They go crush me. Take it, leave this, where I was born. Till there be no place left to hold on. We'll be sinking, we'll be drowning in deep water. There'll be no recover.
I actually love that song. Right?
Yeah.
That reminded me of King Upson some years ago. He did one in Antigua. All the white people own half of Antigua. All them foreigners buy out the remainder. And the punchline was, with all the money I have, they pick me and me, we blight. The white foreigner, the black foreigner still out the white, but some, you know, but it's a theme that's repeated. I first heard it by the Arrow.
Arrow, yes.
When the settlers came to the country, you know the song?
Yes, yeah.
About 4 centuries ago.
Actually, Arrow sent all his full discography to me.
Yes, you have that?
And that was one of the songs on one of the CDs, yeah.
The work them carry by narrow axe till they couldn't take it no more. Then they sent from us from Africa to do this slave work down here.
That's the hold on to your property one, right?
Hold on to your property. Yeah. Hold on to your property. And it's still so impacting today. When I did Double Slice of Paradise, I did a verse on the incident where the white lady had lain across the path on the beach in Nevis when those kids were running back and forth. Wherever she came from, those kids are running on the beach back and forth. It bothered her to the point she came out and tried to stop it. And lay across the beach to stop the kids from running, and nobody wanted any. And I think there was some discussion because her husband was so and so on this and that, and they forgot about it. Well, that's sort of entitlement. So in that song it says children should not be forbidden from running on their own beach. But it happens.
Wow.
It happens. But that song by Pat, I actually like it. So based on what I've seen in terms of the correspondence, I think he'll be part of the competition again. There was a note. There was a lady, I don't know who she represented at the meeting, and she was talking about the need to have new calypsonians in place because you have the same old people coming again. She said, no disrespect to Socrates. I'm thinking, what's she talking about? You know?
Listen to this comment. The loss of the traditional standards and creativity in calypso is one of the reasons for the evolution of reggae involvement, especially in Nottingham. I think he means Notting Hill, as a grassroots phenomenon. Don't discriminate. What do you think?
The loss of the original standards. You have to describe that to me.
It's two separate things. Has nothing to do with the standards necessarily. Just we're talking about genre against genre in a milieu that is about one particular genre.
So he's saying that I'm discriminating. When there's a reggae festival, you do not have calypso featured.
Exactly.
When there's a Carnival Day parade, Juve, Jump Up Last Lap, reggae should not have a place in that. You go to a reggae festival to hear that. You go to a carnival event to hear pan, calypso, soca, etc.
Absolutely.
Two different things. Not disrespecting or taking away from one or the other. In the traditional rule of calypso, that to fight the establishment, even the churches, because calypso was sold to us as devil music, not wanting the people to listen to the message and the messenger. Same with pan. Pan was looked down upon. Only outcasts were playing pan, etc. And it morphed into what has become as a signature of the carnivals around the region. Pan calypso soca. Right? So the big sound system have been making their way into the traditional parades. I have an issue with that. It has nothing to do with discrimination. As a matter of fact, you don't find reggae in competition. What you had on the road was the road march songs in competition. That was the whole gist. Let's take Trinidad, right? What are the big bands up there now? Desperados, all the big bands, they competed on the road. It was part of it from Panorama to the road. The road march competition contenders. Not a reggae competition. Calypso, soca, because you have the soca monarch. Panorama are the only genres that competes. And the winner or winners are featured on the road. There's a judging point for that. So you find you have 4 or 5 bands coming down and they're playing the road mark contender. In the middle of that, you're dropping a reggae band or dance or song. I beg to differ with your...
He responds. We are all Caribbean people.
It has nothing to do because we are all Caribbean people. Right? So I have no problem with you enjoying your reggae. I enjoy reggae as a Caribbean person. Right? But when it comes to...
I agree. We have nothing against reggae, but come on.
When you have a hip-hop event, keep it hip-hop. You have a reggae festival, we support you to the max. Right? But traditional, you're talking about the standards.
And of course, if it's an all-comers event, that's fine.
Everybody is all-inclusive, as I said.
Carnival is
London, Notting Hill Carnival is the biggest carnival in Europe. Started by orchestrate, built by West Indians. And we have to get that distinction and recognition for that. Right? So, you go to a reggae fete. You go to the thing on the side, but when you come to parade day, don't stop my rhythm. I'm jumping away with my flag. Yes, God side session for reggae. I'm not discriminating. Do not dilute it. Right? We pause at this point for a few kind word from sponsors, and we'll be right back.
To leave these islands to independence. Bustamante, Jamaica, Ewell Barrow, Barbados, Bob's Burnham, Guyana, Eric Williams, Trinbago, John Compton, St. Lucia, Patrick John, Dominica, Milton, Cato, St. Vincent, Eric Gilly, Grenada.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Double the cash back. Double the groceries. Double the savings. Only at Hortsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Happening now, when you make a higher purchase, you'll get double cash back coupons for double the free groceries. Are you serious? Shop for the furniture and appliances you need, and we'll help you fill your fridge and kitchen too.
Nah, me.
But that's not all. You'll also have a chance to win free groceries for a year or a 4-piece living room set that will transform your space into a cozy haven.
Say what?
Don't miss out on double the rewards and double the savings. Visit Hortsford's Furniture and Appliances or Ashley Furniture Home Store today and start your journey to a better home and a fuller kitchen.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit any Hortsford's location for details.
Double the deals, double the delight, double the cash back, double the groceries, double the savings. Only at Hortsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Stores, happening now.
Pursued with arbitration, we need all hands on deck. But climate mitigation must be the primary mission to reverse the greenhouse gas effect. Our very survival is at stake. With our backs pushed against the wall, no carbon footprint is very small. Clearly Peter is paying for Paul until there's one set of rules for one and all. We gonna see Peter paying for Paul. Why yo? Chidanda here.
And here that we want to talk about the Category 5 hurricane affecting the Florida coast. We want to reach out to our nationals out there. Well, just about everybody will score. We want to hear from our folks out there in the diaspora that they're safe. And they, of course, have to take all the necessary precautions. Climate change is real, in spite of what Donald Trump says. Now, it's about, 10 days after that major hurricane up there in North Carolina. Then we have this one approaching. Milton, now up to a Category 5. So, keeping your fingers crossed and hoping that all those who are within this pathway are kept safe, etc. Now, let's go back to a comment or two sent by Chris Collins on the whole issue of Carnival. He's saying, Very good gesture by the Carnival Committee. We must keep the art form alive. And he coins, no Calypso, no Carnival. Speaking about Notting Hill Carnival now, he says, everybody got their corner in Notting Hill Carnival. It means that the reggae performers, reggae bands, the sound system, they have the corner. The problem is the city doesn't want to pay for nothing. But tell them about war. They will gladly pay for that. And he says, Samba is king on the street. Not sure what that means. You can probably...
it's a Brazilian
right, yes,
music,
I was talking about the Brazilian thing. They're awesome. Hey, to see
they call, you see how here we call them mass camps?
Yes.
They're called samba schools in Brazil.
In Brazil.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're able to enlighten us on that because I mentioned that the troop is from here to Top of 4th Street. It's actually longer.
Yeah.
And many sections in costume and performing in heels. Those ladies dancing the samba in heels, and it's like just awesome. So yes, I can see how easily they can rival Trinidad in terms of the costume and the display. So yes, it's the rhythm, it's the tempo, it's the competition. So reggae, dancehall, etc. have its place, not on parade day, as far as I'm concerned, not doing the parade of troops and carnival, but who am I? It's not discrimination. So, I'm ready for it right now. The lines are open, so anybody want to weigh in on any topic, whether it be Milton, the Carnival Committee overtures, etc. We're going to go now with a clip from Jamster on Milton, and it's...
brand new urgent information just in from the National Hurricane Center. Hurricane Milton has exploded in strength. It is now a major hurricane already, a Category 3 storm. It's got the entire Gulf of Mexico to gain in intensity. It is forecast to take an incredibly dangerous path. You can see it right there. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Fort Myers, Naples, all within its cone. Seconds ago, the National Hurricane Center issued a special forecast advisory. This is something it rarely does. That in and of itself gives you a sense of how urgent this is. So let's get right to CNN meteorologist Derek Van Dam. Derek, this new information, what are you learning?
Yeah, John, we're facing down a monster. The potential here exists for a second major landfalling hurricane in less than 2 weeks. People along the west coast of Florida are still cleaning up from Helene. You got to keep that in mind. 125 mile per hour sustained winds. The bottom is quite literally dropping out from this particular storm. Major Hurricane Milton. This is the latest 8 a.m. update from the National Hurricane Center, a rare feat from the NHC because they wait usually between 5 to 11 a.m. to have that update. But because of this explosive growth, which, by the way, has increased speeds of over 70 miles per hour in less than 24 hours, doubling the criteria for rapid intensification, you can see this storm, now a Cat 3, likely will remain a Cat 4. That is a major hurricane teetering on a Cat 5 as it scrapes the northern Yucatan Peninsula where there are hurricane warnings. But of course, we are focusing our attention on what will be a landfalling major hurricane late Wednesday into the day on Thursday. This is new, issued from the National Hurricane Center. And this shading of purple from Pinellas to Sarasota to Lee County, that is a major hurricane wind strength that is in the forecast from approaching major hurricane Milton, I should say. This is interesting, John. The first initial storm surge forecast, 8 to 12 feet for Tampa Bay. That actually exceeds what Helene brought, which was a record storm surge for the area.
In just one more time, Derek, when are you forecasting landfall? Has the landfall update changed?
The updated time, probably from overnight when people were following this yesterday, is a slower arrival time. So late Wednesday into early Thursday morning. That's when we anticipate landfall from this storm.
Hurricane Milton has just exploded in strength overnight and now a major Category 3 hurricane and headed for Florida's west coast. Tampa's mayor is warning residents to make a plan now to leave. And moments ago, the National Hurricane Center issued a rare special forecast advisory about Joining us right now.
Yeah, I was just actually.
It is now a Category 5
5. I was actually about to say that.
Right, because
this was from 3 hours ago. And
this is like 28 minutes ago.
Yes.
So Hurricane Milton is a Category 5. Florida orders evacuation, and most likely paths suggest Milton could make landfall on Wednesday in the Tampa Bay area and remain a hurricane as, let me see if we get the happening. Anyway, Hurricane Milton is a Category 5. Orders evacuation to scramble, and maps show track of Hurricane Milton as forecasters predict landfall in Florida. Hurricane Milton could bring life-threatening surge winds to Florida. Hurricane Milton surges a Category 5 expected to hit Florida as a major. Hurricane Milton live update storm now a Category 5 as Florida orders evacuation. So it's developing. We have a graph of it here. Hurricane Milton has hits Category 5 status on path to Florida live update. So that we were playing with some like 3-4 hours ago.
Yeah, 3 hours ago. So yeah, I was actually just before you said, I was saying, okay, I'm gonna have to say that it's since become Category 5.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we had some politics on display with Trump. Was it in Carolina? Where was Helene?
It hit North Carolina.
Yeah.
Also Georgia.
And he was saying that FEMA don't have enough money to address the urgency because the government is siphoning off money to give to the immigrants.
Which is not true, really.
But he have a fan base that just believes everything he says. Right? The governor of the area says that the federal government, he tried to call Biden, he didn't get him. He called him right back and asked him, what do you need? He said, we have everything we need. But he's there saying that the response is not efficient. They're only offering $750 per person. That's initially, not the totality of the support they're giving you.
Just for kicks and to prove a point, he should just one of these times say the sky is purple and let me see what they're going to do. Let's see if they're just going to swallow that too and say, well, the sky is purple.
Well, he did discuss knocking out a hurricane with a nuclear weapon some time ago. He did take a Sharpie to extend the trajectory of a hurricane.
Interesting you brought up that. Here's a comment on the clip I just played out. Someone says, Trump needs to get his Sharpie out and draw Milton in a different direction. And then somebody says, I'm dying laughing right now.
You make it go away.
Comment, yeah.
Just direct it to Haiti and we're good to go. So yes, for folks up there in that particular area, be watchful, be mindful, make all the necessary precautions as you can. Category 5 is not just sneeze at. We've experienced it here in the region. On Saturday afternoon, I was heading west, and I was prompted to stop just as you go on the corner there from Bloody Point. We have that lookout point, and take pictures of the water. It was around sunset, so you had a reflection of the sun setting, that bright orange glow. But the clouds around that were still, you saw the water was so still. You could see the reflection of the clouds. And it was so like eerie, still, glassy. And I'm wondering, is this the calm before the storm? Really, I'm going to have to show you the pictures. I had to get off, park up, and take pictures of that because something you don't normally see. The thing was just so placid and glassy and calm, and you're wondering, wow, Mother Nature is awesome. We do live in paradise. But on the flip side of that, we have the nature that comes to every once in a while with a breath of fresh air, too fresh for a lot of people, clean up everything and start again. So, yes. So we had that intervention about the hurricane. 662-0989. Carl Brown, let me hear what your thoughts are on the Calypso tent. And I know you're going to ask me when it's going to open. I can tell you when, so let's take this caller. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yeah, Taco, it's me.
Yes, sir. How are you?
All right. What I'm calling concern is that we need always to be grateful and thankful to Jesus Christ that he have not given us in this area, especially we here in St. Kitts and Nevis, any storm or hurricane to do us the damage that are being done to other places. And not just storm and hurricanes, but earthquakes and tsunamis and that sort of stuff. We in this region, we who are very hypocritical, evil and wicked and deserve total wiping out right now.
We deserve total wiping out?
We deserve far more than that. We deserve hell.
Why?
Because we are such evil, wicked sinners before God.
Are we in the period of grace?
Hello?
Aren't we in the period of grace?
Since Adam and Eve sinned, we have always been in the period of grace.
I see.
Because man has always been saved by grace alone, both in the Old and New Testament, and not less but by grace through faith. But I just say God, I just say in the Bible, have destroyed nations and peoples, both in the Old and New Testament, for the disobedience to sin. And he tells us in his word, he will punish. He tells us in his word that sin is a destruction to any people, but righteousness exalts a people. A nation, righteousness exalts a nation.
Yep.
But sin is a reproach or destruction to any people. And woe to the nation who forget God. But yet, even though we deserve the worst, God in his grace and mercy upon us at this moment have spared us from these terrible things that he is sending on other nations to destroy. And we
So is he picking and choosing?
need to be grateful and thankful because
Is he picking and choosing?
If he picking and choosing, yes, in his own time he picking and he's choosing when to destroy that nation and when to destroy the other nation if they don't repent, once they do not repent. Because no nation, including us, can go on forever and ever in unrepentance and continue to survive. Because he let us know in his word that his mercy and his grace have a limit. His love have a limit. And if you continue in your sin unrepentantly, there is going to come a time when he's going to say, okay, your sin has reached its max. Now I'm going to deal with you, to destroy you.
Okay. What's your response?
So I'm just encouraging us to repent before Jesus Christ before it is too late.
What is your response?
Time is running out.
Answer me if you can, please. What is your response to the folks who state boldly that we are blessed? That is why we are not affected negatively by hurricanes. What's your response to that?
But God, as I've said, is showing us at this point, as even as wicked and as hypocritical as we are, and although we deserve the worst, God at this point is showing us his mercy, because he have not sent anything major upon us to totally destroy us as he have done for other places. Look, for example, Helene in America. Guess what? People have died. I think it's what? I'm forgetting, it's over 100?
Over 200. Over 200 with
Right,
some folks still missing.
Right, exactly, have died. When last you hear that happened to St. Kitts and Nevis? You think so God in his even just
So we're blessed.
Hello?
So we're blessed.
Yes.
So then
yes,
Florida.
God and grace upon us.
So then by that equation, Carolina is cursed.
But Carolina is at the moment under the judgment and curse of Jesus Christ. Is pain. It's pain for his disobedience to the word of God.
And Milton, it is now heading for Florida, or in Florida. It means that they're also cursed.
America and a whole is cursed. America now with all them abortion and pornography and all of these liberal agendas and fighting against the church and the stuff. All America right now is going under the judgment of God. It's just that some places God choose to judge more than the other. But the whole America right now is under the curse and judgment of God.
So when the hurricane that messed up Dominica some years ago, was because Dominica was cursed also?
But yes, because we all are under the judgment and curse of God. Yes. But it is for us to repent. In order for us to move ourselves out of the curse and repentance of God. So in order for us to move out of the curse and judgment of God, we all need to repent.
Oh,
I'm Dominica full of sinners too. Dominica full of evilness and wickedness that they need to repent of. Now, it does not mean that we are any more righteous than them. We are no more righteous than them. But God, in his workings, he does
choose to favor us
at the same time.
Choose to favor us over Dominica?
No, I won't say he favors us. He's giving us time, which is limited. He's giving us time, which is limited. I don't say he favors us over Dominica, because when our time comes, it might be far worse than Dominica.
I hear you.
It might be far worse. Because, as they say, the higher up in a tree you go, when you get fall, isn't the fall harder?
I love your philosophy.
Yes. So the more we enjoy, the more God put more in us. If we don't repent and if we reach his limit, our fall is going to be even harder, even more than Dominica.
I was trying to get your thoughts on that, because there are folks who actually boast that we bless because hurricane hit this country, that country. I'm saying we were fortunate this time around. We were lucky this time around.
Yeah, but I think we tend to blame God for a lot of stuff. God allows things to happen. I don't think he's letting things. He's just allowing things to happen.
Are you hearing Jamster?
Dominica just happens to be more in Hurricane Alley than we are.
Are you hearing Jamster?
Slightly more in Hurricane Alley than we are. It has nothing to do with.
Is it still there?
I don't know.
So but Jamster, but when God tells us in his word that he's going to bring weather and all kind of evil upon us if we don't obey his word. This is more than God allowing things. For example, God destroyed the whole world except 8 people. He didn't just allow a flood. He brought the flood and destroyed the whole world because of their sinfulness.
Yeah, I'm not ruling out that, but I'm just saying in general, I think in general, he allows things to happen.
At all times.
Right?
Romans chapter 11 verse 36 tell us that everything is by God, from God, and to God. Therefore, nothing is beyond his sovereign rule and control. God in control of everything. And when I say control, I know some people like to interpret the word control to mean allow. No, control and allow are 2 different things. If the government allow you to run on the road, they ain't controlling you. They just allow you. You are in control of how you drive on the road. But if the government is controlling you, then that means you're doing what they are dictating to you. Likewise, God controlling is not the same thing as allowing. Controlling ain't the same thing as allowing, and that's what people don't get mixed up
Well,
with.
that's what I'm saying. That's you're making my point for me.
God control everything.
He controls, but he allows certain things to happen because we have free agency, right?
If God controls everything, then there is nothing we could use the word allow to where God is concerned.
If I have my kids at home, my kids at home are subject to discipline and certain parameters in as much as what they can and cannot do. But at the same time, if they're home, say on vacation, and they're doing, I'm not telling them what to do. They know what parameters they can cross. But at the same time, I'm not dictating to them and telling them, you're going to do that at 1:30 and you're going to do that at 2 o'clock. There's a difference. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying.
Right.
God, he controls our overall existence, but he gives us free will. That's the point I'm making.
But how, let me ask you a question. How could there be a free will where God is concerned when God knows everything that's going to happen? How do you square free will where God is concerned with the all-knowing of God. For example, if God knows all that you're going to do tomorrow, which he knows, if God knows all that you're going to do tomorrow, where you don't have any free will to do anything contrary to what he know you're going to do tomorrow. So when it comes to God, there's no such thing as man having a free will.
No, but
God knows everything.
No, but maybe that outcome is based on my current trajectory, and he can look forward and say, well, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen on November 15 with him, because if he stays on that path, it doesn't mean that he's necessarily making that happen. He can see where it's heading. It's the same way.
But based on the teachings of the Bible, the reason why God knows everything is because he has foreordained everything. God doesn't passively take in things. Me and you, we passively learn things and take in things. God doesn't passively learn things. God knows everything because he has foreordained everything and predestined everything. That's the difference between us and God. We are in two different categories. That is why Romans chapter 11 verse 36 says everything, not some things, not most things, but everything is from, of, and by God. And for God.
Jam,
that's
so
the difference.
Are they finished? Because you're not going to outpoint Gregory when it comes to his...
No, that ain't exactly it. All I'm telling people, go to the Bible, see if what I'm saying and whoever is saying is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Read Romans 11 verse 36. Read Ephesians chapter 1 verse 11. Read the whole of Romans chapter 9. Read Romans chapter 8 verse 28 and 29 and 30 and 31 verse 31 of Romans chapter 8.
Gregory, a commenter says that you have no proof of the things you were saying. Moving on.
Well, okay, then I tell anybody, show me how I'm misinterpreting the Bible. Show me.
We have
a challenge.
Okay. I'm the one who've not been to a seminar, so I'm going to bow out and let you and Jam deal with that. But thanks for your contribution. I appreciate that. I want to read a comment that was sent by, you recall Brenda. She was here a few weeks ago, and she said you forgot her, whatever that means. She writes, and we had towns near me wiped out. Highways closed until next year. Right? I asked about her location. She says, I'm in Pineville. Asheville was destroyed, and it's in the mountains. We had trees and transformers down, but it was major road to Tennessee. It was a major road to Tennessee, closed until 2025. 2025. I'm in Pineville. Asheville was destroyed, and it's in the mountains. We had trees and transformers down, but it was major. Probably it was a major road to Tennessee closed until 2025. So these things are very, very devastating. And we have Milton making its impact on Florida at the moment. So we are going to hear a lot more about that. As somebody was mentioning, the loss of life in Carolina was over 200, with X amount still missing. So when we sit in St. Kitts and look at those in the U.S., etc., we have memories of Hugo and those major hurricanes impacting St. Kitts. In terms of the percentage of loss of life, we've been very, very lucky. We've had a couple of persons who were washed down by drains, etc., etc. But when you look at the totality of what happened, because some of us take the warnings carefully, but one of the things I mentioned to our guests when we're touring, our homes are built to withstand gale force of 140 miles an hour. Very rarely you hear in a hurricane report that homes were destroyed. So once you take the precautions, you stay inside and you're battened down, you're pretty much safe. Think of it, look at it. When you look at the impact of hurricanes and tornadoes in the U.S., you question, you wonder why. We don't know exactly why, but we know here in St. Kitts, and I would suspect across the region, homes are built because we are in a hurricane zone. You have to satisfy the insurers that your homes can withstand the brunt of a Cat 5 hurricanes. You know? She writes, this Brenda, the death toll is still climbing. Lots of folks are still unaccounted for. So these are very, very serious things. Whether they're God ordained, preordained, etc., one has to be mindful. We had Mr. Abdul Samuel here some months ago, talking about the anticipation for the upcoming season. The frequency based on what the trajectory was, we were supposed to have some 22 hurricanes. We're now in October. At the end of November is the end of the Atlantic hurricane season, but Mother Nature is funny that way. We got to keep our fingers crossed. Somebody was saying something about he needs to sit down for his own safety. I don't somebody writes pertaining to that, and the listeners, okay. I'm not going to read that right now. But it happens, right? We don't have enough. We can pause right now for a quick few words from our sponsors, and we come back, okay?
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Horsefords Value Mart IGA specials from October 3rd through 16th. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Chef Warrior D canned pasta and microwave pastas, just $6.99. Eggo waffles and pancakes, $14.99. Essential Everyday Barbecue sauces, $7.99 each. Almond Breeze almond milks, $16.99. Lenden's bagels, $12.99. Langus juices, just $11.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Essential Everyday pastas are just $4.99. Essential Everyday pasta sauce, $9.99. La yogurt, $3.39. Philadelphia cream cheese, $13.99. VO5 shampoo and conditioner, $5.49. Equaline mouthwash, $10.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Okay, we're back with about 3 minutes to go before close of play today. We had an extra update from Brenda saying that she believes the I-40 will be closed until, let's see, officially, Pineville, yeah, the death toll is still rising. They were stating I had no damage. Praise God, people still without power. I guess I forgot to share how bad it was. Officials say the I-40 will be closed until September 2025. This is in western North Carolina. The I-26 traveling north through Asheville and into Tennessee will also be closed through March 25, according to officials 5 days ago. And we keep our fingers crossed, and we hope for reports that there has been no more loss in life, etc., as we in the region know how that is. But I want to touch on what's going to happen here tomorrow in terms of the Icons of the Sea is docking in St. Kitts tomorrow. It's been repaired, and it's docking here in St. Kitts tomorrow, and tons of taxi drivers and folks in the industry are looking forward for that ship coming here. We've heard a report that there are only 10 ships for the entire month of October. They made comparisons with St. Thomas and Antigua. They come to blessings. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I am one of the many looking forward to operating the Port Zante tomorrow. The craft vendors, the Alarab persons, the primate vendors, just about everybody, because there's a spin-off. Should I leave tomorrow with a good, return on, I can go to the farmers markets. I can buy anything from I Trust. That's how it works. The spin-off helps us about everybody. So it's not just taxi drivers. You have your kids going to school. You have to buy supplies from Apex and all these places here. That comes in handy. So we're hopeful, we're thankful, we're grateful that we can still say here on the 7th of, is it the 7th? Yep, of October, that we've not been negatively impacted by any storm system. We want to be thankful. We want to be grateful. We want to remind all our friends, our family up there, need to count the blessings first, right? Because it could have been a lot worse. Throughout the region, we've been very, very fortunate so far. We hope that this continues. As I take my leave today, we want to wish each and every one peace, love, and a much better tomorrow. And say, of course, good afternoon to Amber, Zara, and Cleo over there in Anguilla. God's willing, I'll be here on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9.